Well, hello racing fans, and welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for Saturday, a race at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Saturday the 7th, and of course racing alongside the Big T at Turfentine. But Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, there is lots on offer. It's another big Pick 6 bonanza as well. A 1 million rand carryover Pick 6 likely pool there will be, I think, around 3 million. Maybe that is a good estimate, but we should get plus considering the quality of the field. And we got the Champagne Racing 1.25 million rand World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas as well, and 3 other feature races. So lots to look forward to. I trust that you, the valued racing fan, as well. Race number 1 will begin at 11:55. It's an early start, and there's 9 races on the go. Graham, another bumper weekend for the Western Cape, and considering the feature races that we have, hopefully it's well supported.
I think it will be very well supported. The weather is looking really good. A bit of rain around in Cape Town today just to make the going really super. But the forecast for Saturday is pleasant, warmer conditions, 23 degrees with a real feel of 26 and a light southeasterly wind. So conditions for racing will be perfect. And just to confirm, it is a 10-race program. These, the 10th and last race goes off at 5:10. But as you've mentioned, the first race at 5 to 12, it's a maiden juvenile plate over 1,000 meters. Now, the first maiden juvenile plate, we saw Snaith come first and Kotson come second, and it could be a similar scenario here because number 6, Claire de Lune, who will be ridden by Richard Faree, full sister to Trip of Fortune, is priced up deep in the red. The comments are positive. So in the absence of any other information, I would imagine that number 6, Claire de Lune, is going to be tough to beat. The second choice in the market is Glenn Kotson's runner. Number 3, Good For You, has been showing good work at home and expected to run a forward race. But obviously there are 7 in the field. And as we get closer to race time, what you see in the parade ring, what you see in the canter pass, and what the market tells you will be the best guide.
And of course, the information that will come through from the course in the Western Cape, and the juveniles are on the go around the country, and let's see what happens in race number 1. But as Grant mentioned, on pedigree, on comments that are in the computer form, this horse that's in the red should be the likely horse to beat in race number 1. Well, the exotics will begin in race number 2, Graham. Start of the bipart, and it's a maiden plate over 1,200 meters. As always, we'll give you a betting as the guide. Race number 1. Number 1 at 4 to 1. Number 2 is at 28 to 10. Horse number 7 at 8 to 1. 8 at 4 to 1. A blinker strike is number 11, Honor of Kings, at 28 to 10. It's double figures, the balance. I had a nice long chat with jockey Sereno Mudley after this horse debuted, Graham. Gurkha, Dean Kaname is runner number 2. And he said next time out, whatever happens, one to follow strongly, Graham, because he didn't know what was happening in the early part of the race, and he absolutely flew at the business end of the race. So considering what he showed on debut, Graham, were you taken, or did he grab your attention?
He certainly did, Dees, and is beautifully bred. Perhaps would prefer slightly further, being by fire away, but it was a very promising debut. As you said, he came from a mile back. He ended up about 2 lengths behind Circumbendibus, who reopposes here. They ran behind Cork Bay. Circumbendibus was second, narrowly beaten. Gurkha was third, beaten about 2.5 lengths. And fourth, or rather fifth in the same race, was Umfula, also on debut, and came from a similar position as Gurkha, outpaced in the early stages, ran on really well. So those are the 3 standouts for me. I'm expecting the Cork Bay form to hold up. I'm still marginally in the camp of number 1, Circumbendibus. He's got more experience. The penny has started to drop. He's been runner-up in his last 2 starts, and I think he'll go very well and offers some nice value at around 4 to 1. But obviously you've got to respect the improvers, the potential of the likes of number 2, Gurkha, and number 8, Umfula. Those would be my top 3. As you mentioned, a blinker strike for number 11, Honor of Kings, the half-brother to Princess Kala, has been a trifle disappointing. Yes, he's finished second in his last 2 starts. They were over 1,400 meters, steps back to 1,200 meters with the blinkers on. That could be the trick. And then watch for further improvement from number 7, My Archangel. Has his first runs of gelding. He was gelded on the 14th of October. Lucinda Woodruff has made no secret of the fact that she thinks that number 7, My Archangel, is a nice type. Could certainly get into the mix. But I'm going to row in with number 1, Circumbendibus, to confirm the form with Gurkha and Mfula. But I wouldn't be surprised if either of Gurkha or Mfula progress enough to win this.
Okay, Graham siding with the form line behind Cork Bay in race number 2, which is the start of the bipot. But the top one and a joint favorite with number 2 is horse number 11, Honor of Kings. Place accumulator time, Graham, race number 3 at 13:05, 1,200 meters. And this race, as we bring up the field, number 2 is at 7-1. Horse number 4 at 11-2. Then we got number 6 at 6-1, 7 at 7-1. And it is double figures the balance. I see there is some money here for number 10, All Is Green, Graham. Hollywoodbets 12-1 into 8-1. Okay, how many horses do we need in the place accumulator, Graham? Can we narrow the spend?
I think we can. I'm quite strongly in the camp of number 9, Oktoberfest. She has all the pedigree in the world. She's, of course, related to October Morn. She won her maiden last time out when beating Pink Pigeon. Pink Pigeon came out to run a very good second behind. Rockapina is also trained by Candice Bass Robinson. So I'm expecting a lot of further improvement from number 9, Oktoberfest. But this is a Class 4 fillies and mares handicap over 1,200 meters. The nature of these races are that they're very competitive. I'm not surprised that number 10, All Is Green, has found some early betting support. I think 12-1 was certainly overpriced. She's a dual winner. Last time out, she got up to beat the Charleston. So Candice Bass Robinson will have a pretty good idea of what to expect here, because the Charleston is also, of course, trained by Candice, and she saddles number 9, Oktoberfest. 11, Captain's Destinies, won her last 2, but I fancy she's taking on a little bit stronger this time around. The same comment probably applies to number 2, Ticket to Vegas, a little bit stronger in this field. Berry's Boogie took 3 runs to win her maiden. She's a very well-related daughter of Churchill. She won comfortably at the third time of asking. Lots of scope for further improvement. Protect the Dream and Festival Chic have done enough to suggest they could be competitive. But from a place accumulator point of view, I wouldn't put you off bankering number 9, Oktoberfest. I'd certainly be very disappointed if she didn't run into the top 3. But as I said, it is a handicap, and the nature of handicaps is that they're competitive and they're all relatively unexposed. But I'm expecting a lot of improvement from number 9, Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest, the horse, possibly the right one for the PA. Just a word on number 5, Peace of Mind, has galloped at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, but she is coming off a long break and may be in need of the run. But she's one to follow closely as she progresses with her career down in the Western Cape. Number 5, Peace of Mind. On to the pick 6, which is race number 4. And this is over 1,400 meters. There's a carryover of 1 million rand, racing fans. The estimated pool is 4 million, but we are racing alongside Turfentine. So hopefully we get to a sizable amount on the Saturday at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, and it's well supported. Let's bring up the field and have a look at the betting. Number 6, Garrix. This horse has been backed from 2-1 into 16-10. Horse number 10 at 8-1. Number 14 at 9-2. And those look to be the principals here, Graham. The balance are all in double figures. So some nice young horses taking on the older horses. I say young horses, I'm meaning the 3-year-olds. 2 questions, Graham. Are we going with these horses like Garrick's, Legal Counsel, and maybe Rich Folks Hoax? And the second question will be, do we read into the riding arrangement that Richard Fourie has opted to go for the Snaith horse ahead of the Pete Steyn runner?
Well, that is the key question, because he rode Garrick's obviously in its first 2 starts, winning well, beating Native Rulu, came out to win midweek, so that form has certainly now been well franked. But he also won on Legal Counsel back in September. We haven't seen Legal Counsel since, and Legal Counsel's got an awkward draw of 14. So one has to assume that Richard Fourie had the choice of rides. But that being said, maybe Garrick's, who's a Guineas, holds a Guineas entry, and maybe Pete Steyn realizes that Richard Free will not be available to him in the Guineas and the Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas, and if Garrix takes his place there, he might have Elder De Mayo penciled in for that run. We know that Garrix was meant to run in the Cape Punters Cup, fell victim to the dreaded TCO2 testing. We know that he's very smart. The form has been well franked. He was a spectacular winner of his second start. But as you said, this is a match, a Class 4 handicap match between the young, unexposed 3-year-olds with lots of potential. And I would think that number 6, Garrix, number 14, Legal Counsel, head that group marginally ahead of number 10, Rich Folks Hoax. I would put Rich Folks Hoax in third spot in the pecking order amongst the 3-year-olds. So Garrix would be my top choice of the 3-year-olds ahead of Legal Counsel. But as we've seen before, sometimes the more experienced, hard-knocking, multiple winners in these kind of races do put their hands up. And number 5, Kariaku, who's to be ridden by Gavin Larena, is 5-1 in the market, has got good consistent form coming into this race and must have a chance. But for the draw, Master of Paris and Marvel William. Marvel William has shown improvement of late, but drawn 17 is going to be really, really tough for him over 1,400 meters. I think this is the first leg of the R1 million Pick 6 carryover, as you've mentioned. My bet of choice is Jackpot 1, which starts in race 5. But looking at the opening leg of the Pick 6, you can't put them all in. There's some competitive races, not least of which is the R1.25 million World Sports Betting Fillies Guineas. So I would be inclined to go with a short list of 5 Kariaku to perhaps be the best of the older horses. Number 6, Garrix, and number 14, Legal Counsel. One has to respect the fact that Faree is riding Legal Counsel, but I do think that Garrix is a potential superstar in the making.
Well, let's see how he progresses. Number 6, Garrick, the son of Vercingetorix, who has been backed anti-post. And Graham is spot on because Richard Faree has already been engaged in the Guineas to ride 8 on 18 for Justin Snade. So that may be the clue as to why Elder De Mayo rides number 6, Garrick here. Okay, Graham mentioned my bet of choice is Jackpot 1. Well, this is where it begins, and it begins with a feature race. The World Sports Betting Southern Cross Stakes. It's a Group 3 over 1,000 meters. And let's have a look at the best weighted column before we have a look at the betting. And it's topped by number 4, Asia Pambili, way clear of the balance at a 116. Behind Asia Pambili will be Nordic Quest, Candy Town, and Summer Lily, number 7, 8, and 2. Graham, the betting here, number 2 at 9-2. Then we have... I've just omitted the balance of the betting, but I'll definitely get it for you as we have a look at the betting for Saturday the 7th, because for some reason I didn't take down the balance of the betting there. But Graham, in leg number 1 of this jackpot, are you all in with the best weighted column, or are you running for cover here? I'll tell you the price of this horse, Graham, Asia Pambili, as we get to it. Even money. So number 2 at 9-2, number 4 even money, 6 at 7-1, and 7 at 7-2. So the fixed odds betting market does tell a story here, Graham. And I know that you went for this horse last time out, and desperately unlucky you were.
Yeah, last time 63.5 over 1,100 meters was giving away 10.5 kilograms to Miss Marguerite, so it's effectively 10.5 kilograms better off here with Miss Marguerite, and better off with most. And that, we all know that races are not run on paper, but the best weighted column tells a deep story. And I think even money is quite generous, to be honest. I think you have to be all in with number 4, Asia Pambile. She's a really, really good filly. She goes well at Kenilworth. Back in January, she ran 2nd to October Morn over 1,200 meters, narrowly beaten. Of course, we saw the best of her in the Poinsettia Stakes when she smashed a good field by 4 lengths. She's top class at best. Richard Faree rides her for the second time. He won on her when he rode her the first time, and that was when beating Dancer and Lord in a modest race way back on the 15th of October 2023. She's a standout bet here in the World Sports Betting Southern Cross Stakes. There's no such thing, as we often say, as a racing certainty. This is about as close as you get. As I said, races are not run on paper, they're run on the turf. But she's very much at home down the lane at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Is 5 furlongs perhaps a shade too short for her? Well, I think she's got so much class. She's a big, imposing filly. I think she's got everything going for her. I think that number 7, Nordic Quest, will be the one to chase her home ahead of number 2, Summer Lily. Those would be my second and third choices. But as you will see in the first leg of Jackpot 1, I've banked at number 4, Asiya Pambili, and I would suggest that she's probably the nap bet on the day and a banker in all exotic permutations.
Okay, that is what we need, some confidence, and that's what we got from Graham for race number 5, which is the start of Jackpot 1. Race number 6 is the WSP Green Point Stakes, a Group 2 over 1,600 meters, and always attracts a high-quality field regardless of the size of entries. Well, only 6 runners will stand their ground on Saturday. Well, this show is recorded 24 hours earlier, so keep an eye. But at the time of recording, just the 6 runners, but high quality are these 6 runners. Give you the betting, Graham, number 3, 33 to 10, horse number 4 at even money, 5 at 3 to 1, and 6 at 9 to 2. Yeah, quality field, Graham. If you're looking for a guide in the best weighted column, number 4, Green with Envy, does top it marginally at a 127. Ahead of number 3, Royal Aussie at 125, then 5, Oriental Charm at 124 and joint 125, and then 124 joint, numbers 6 and 1. It's a small field. Unless you really like something or you can minimize your spend to, let's say, half the field, Graham, many will be considering to possibly look for the result here if there is going to be one.
Yeah, look, I've gone the field, but having said that, the best weighted column suggests it's tightly matched. 6 horses, 1,600 meters. What's the pace going to be like? I chatted to Dean Cannemeyer. Green with Envy is about 80% ready. He's, of course, revving up his engines for the 5 million rand World Sports Bet in Cape Town, met on the 25th of January. The same comment applies to number 5, Oriental Charm, who is, of course, the Hollywoodbets Durban July hero of this past season, and he put up a scintillating gallop the other day. Brett Crawford is also very happy that he's in a very, very good space. So the 2 class acts are number 4, Green with Envy, and 5, Oriental Charm. Oriental Charm might end up going forward, so he can make his own running. Green with Envy likes to come from off them if the pace is not too strong. He may be caught flat-footed. He may not be. He's the firm even money favourite. He's entitled to do that, to be at the top of the boards on his overall record. But, 1,600 metres is not his game, and nor is it Oriental Charm's game, one could argue. So, given the fact that the pace might be a little flat and tactics might come into play here, Royal Aussie certainly got a bit more fitness on his side. He was a bit disappointing in the Cape Mile, went 5th behind Rascallion, but he'll certainly do better than that. Sergey's had a run this season. Brett Crawford expresses confidence that now that he's 6 years old, he should be able to get the mile, and if it's a softly run mile, that could well suit number 6, Sergey. Sugar Mountain is the biggest outsider in the field, and I can understand that on the evidence of his last run, but you and I both know that he loves this course and distance, and he's a smart sort, and 20 to 1 in a 6-horse field is definitely overpriced. Without question, would probably prefer further. So that's the 6 horses that make up this year's renewal of the World Sports Betting Green Point Stakes. Green with Envy and Oriental Charm, I guess you can fancy that the winner will come from one of those joint class alone, but Royal Aussie's a very, very smart miler. Richard Faree rides. He's had the benefit of a run, so he could be the one that could upset both numbers 4, Green with Envy, and 5, Oriental Charm. But as you say, it could be quite a messy affair, quite a messy renewal of the race. It's a race with a long-standing history and a long-standing tradition. Green with Envy and Oriental Charm, bigger fish to fry. They've got the King's Plate to come, and they've got the World Sports Betting, the Lawrence King's Plate, and the World Sports Betting Cape Town met on their radar. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm not taking any chances. I've got the field with banker Asiya Pambili, and I've got a banker at the back of the field, which is a bit of a at the back of the perm, which is a bit of a speculative banker, but we'll come to that in a moment. So taking no chances, I've got the field. But Dean Cannemeyer said to me, would he be surprised? I asked him the question, would he be surprised if Green with Envy came out fresh and won it? He said, absolutely not. The horse is doing really well, in class will often rise to the top.
Well, you got some good information coming through from Graham there, some spade work done behind the scenes, a fascinating race with these 6 horses that go to post. And I must just congratulate now the partnership of Brett and James Crawford, as you'll see in whatever form guide you are using. So, race number 7, World Sports Betting Cape, Fillies Guineas, grade 1 over 1,600 meters. This race, Graham, I have an opinion about how they priced up, because I couldn't believe it when I took it down. As you know, I often do my comments and then take down the betting. Number 1, Mon Petit Cherie opened up at 10-1, now 8-1. Then we have horse number 11, Gimmy's Countess, at 28-10, and number 13, Fatal Flaw, at 18-10. Well, we all remember what happened last time out in the Fillies Classic, Graham, where Mon Petit Cherie was the winner. And, of course, numbers 1 and 11 were poorly drawn on the outside. And if you can recall that race, I'll just do a refresh if you don't know what happened that day. Both horses came into the straight towards the back of the field. Mon Petit Cherie went to the inside for a run, and Gimmy's Countess stayed to the outside. It was Mon Petit Cherie who got the better of them all and won a good race. Now, how do they price up here, Graham? Because number 11, Gimmy's Countess, is now poorly drawn, and you could say Mon Petit Cherie is a draw strike, and one was priced up at 10-1 and the other at 28-10.
I was equally mystified by the betting. Of course, the layers might have it right. I thought it was a bit lopsided because you've mentioned the Western Cape Fillies Championship. The first 7 home, they were covered by less than 2 lengths. It was Mon Petit Cherie, Beware the Bomb, Symphony in White, Gimmy's Countess, Kinda Wonderful, Little Susie, Whistle the Tune. That was the order in which they finished, but less than 2 lengths covered them at the line. They all reoppose here. Of course, the key difference is, firstly, they're going 1,600 meters, not 1,400 meters. They're on the summer course and not on the winter course, so the run-in is a little bit longer. But as you say, Mon Petit Cherie was full value for a win. Now, the Crawford partnership sent Mon Petit Cherie out from the best of the draw, and they send out Fatal Flaw from the worst of the draw. The key horse in the race is no doubt Fatal Flaw. She travelled down to Cape Town earlier this week. She arrived on Tuesday. Her form is faultless. She beat World of Alice last time out, and World of Alice came out to win the Betway Fillies Mile on Summer Cup Day. Prior to that, she was only second best to Quid Pro Quo. We saw the real Quid Pro Quo also in action last weekend at Turfentine, so no disgrace to on multiple occasions finish second to Quid Pro Quo. But Fatal Flaw's got the worst of the draw, and I have a feeling Dees might be proven wrong on Saturday. I have a feeling that she's at her very best over 1,400 meters. She could be vulnerable over 1,600 meters, particularly that she's cracked the worst of the draw, and there's no doubt she likes to go forward, and Pierce Stradom will go forward. It's interesting that Pierce Stradom has never in his illustrious career won the World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas. That's a gap on his CV that he'd like to plug. Gimmy's Countess, as you've mentioned, is drawn wide, will drop out towards the rear of the field, but she's got a longer home stretch to make up the deficit and should be doing her best work late. But whether Fatal Flaw and Gimmy's Countess should be dominating the betting the way they are, that is questionable. Mon Petit Cherie, obvious claims on the fact that she won last time out. She was a nose in front of number 3, Beware the Bomb. Now, Beware the Bomb is drawn well, as she's drawn in gate 3. She's by Lancaster Bomber, who signed last year's Guineas winner, Fillies Guineas winner in the form of Beach Bomb. And she's a beautiful filly, Dee. She really, really fills your eye, and I think she's got a bright career ahead of her. Little Susie wasn't too far behind Mon Petit Cherie. She's less experienced. She goes 1,600 meters again, which she won a maiden over. She's out of the Met winner, Oh Susanna, so she's certainly got pedigree on her side. Symphony in White, I thought, was running out of gas at the end of the 1,400-meter journey last time out, so the question mark is, will she get home over 1,600 meters? Drakenstein Stud, of course, won this race last year with Beach Bomb, as I've mentioned. They're represented by Beware the Bomb and Little Susie, trained by Justin Snaith, and Symphony in White, trained by Candice Bass Robinson, and she and Elder DeMea teamed up with Beach Bomb last year. So, you know what, I could go on and on and on. This is such an evenly matched field. Kinda Wonderful was finishing off nicely last time out. Whistle the Tune wasn't far away. They could all get into the action as far as the minor money is concerned. But at the end of the day, you've got to have a view. Notwithstanding that, I think she's a little short in the market, and other others are a bigger price. I'm going to give number 11, Gimmy's Countess, another chance. I think on the summer course, she should have no excuses. She should get home nicely. I expect the pace to be on. I think Fatal Flaw will certainly be amongst the early leaders. But I have healthy respect for both numbers 1, Mon Petit Cherie, and 3, Beware the Bomb, who finished 1-2 in the Western Cape Fillies Championship. I like Beware the Bomb as a specimen. And you can't ignore number 13, Fatal Flaw. Her form is just too good. So those would be the leading 4 in my view, 11, 3, 1 and 13, giving the nod to number 11, Kimmy's Countess. But you know what, Dees? This is so evenly matched. I wouldn't be surprised with any kind of result here. I think it's up for grabs, it's wide open, and it's going to be a spectacular race.
Well, you're warming us up, Graham. You're really warming us up with those comments because you've given a lot of these horses chances. The form is clear to see. And you're right, I think Fatal Four does set the standard on what she achieves as a youngster and, of course, the 2 runs that she's had this season. I must just compliment Alan Clear for bringing down number 8, Sprice the Main Brace, who is a 6-time winner from 7 starts in Kabeja. Race number 8, it's the WSB Cape Summer Stayers Handicap, a listed race over 2,500 meters. And this race, they're betting number 1, 28-10. The mare, number 3, Lovers a Rose, is at 4-1. 4, Vihans Bomb at 6-1. Number 5 at 4-1. Navy Strength horse number 6 is at 4-1. And number 7, Holding Thumbs, is at 4-1. So, Graham, you suggested at the top of the show that your chosen bet is Jackpot 1, which will close here in race number 8. And you found us something in your last leg.
Yeah, well, it's only a 42 rand perm, so you can certainly add to it. It's a skeleton and forms the 4 middle legs of the carryover pick 6. But these, I couldn't believe my luck last time out. We were all over Navy Strengths on this show. At the time we recorded the show, he was at around 9-2 and 5-1. I couldn't believe that I got 16-1 and even a smattering of 20-1 when he won over 1,800 meters, beating King Pellez. He drifted like a barge in the market, but did us a really good turn by getting up in the closing stages under J.P. van der Merwe, who rides him again because, of course, Greg Bortz is in partnership here with Nancy Hossack. Now, Navy Strength is back to his best. He won this race 2 years ago, Dees. He won the Cape Summer Stayers Handicap 2 years ago, and I'm expecting him to make a really bold bid. He's not an easy horse to ride. He takes a lot of riding, and he is very much a speculative banker because many of the others have got chances. It's a small field again. The pace will be a question mark. You've got Call to Unite, Love is a Rose, and Holding Thumbs. You can throw a blanket over them on the form shown behind Damio. Then Vian's Bomb will run a better race, surely, for Richard Faree and Gareth Van Zyl. He won 4 on the bounce in KwaZulu-Natal over these kind of trips. He was disappointing behind Damio, but should certainly do better this time around. Royal Invitation steps into uncharted waters over the trip. Ale Maurice's game inconsistent. But I went back on the record books, and yes, he was a 4-year-old then, but as you know, D's were stayers. The older they get, the better they get. When Navy Strength won this race 2 years ago, the race prior, he had won over 1,800 meters. So here we have in exactly the same situation. He won over 1,800 meters heading into the 2024 renewal of the World Sports Betting Cape Summer Stayers Handicap, 2,500 meters. And as a former winner of this race, and because of the good turn he did me last time at huge odds, unrealistically huge odds, I'm not going to desert him. So number 6, Navy Strength, is my top choice and a banker in that very small perm. But is he an absolute certainty? No way. There are many with chances. The pace will be a factor. If you don't go with one, you've got to go with them all. So it's either banker Navy Strengths or go with them all because each and every one of them have got some claims to winning this race.
Okay, we are going into you, Graham. Race 8, horse number 6, Navy Strength, to close off Jackpot 1. Well, race number 9 is over 2,000 meters, and this is where that carryover pick 6 will close. And number 1, Lightning Glow, is at 7-2. Horse number 4 is at 8-1. Number 8, Magic Verse, at 7-2. 9 is at 4-1. 11, Future Turn, who is solid, always puts in an honest shift. I think rightfully joint favorite here at 7-2. Graham, my Nagme horse came up immediately. This horse was accepted and declared. I was on course last time out with Magic Verse and had a quick word with JP van der Merwe, I think a couple of races after that, and he was gutted how unlucky this horse was. So I'm going to go all in here, Graham. You know, you like Navy Strength in race number 8. I'm going to suggest to the guys the double is on races 8 and 9. Magic Verse, I'm hoping things can work out for him because it certainly didn't last time out, Graham.
Well, he's got to be the top choice here, number 8 Magic Verse. I wouldn't put you off going all in with number 8 Magic Verse. Of course, JP van der Merwe gets a choice of the board's rides. And 11 Future Turn, who keeps threatening to win, is also owned in partnership with others by Greg Boards. Grant van Niekerk rides Future Turn from the worst of the draw. So JP van der Merwe, not surprisingly, has opted for number 8 Magic Verse. And he's certainly knocking very loudly at the door. Another one of the Snaith runners drawn in pole position is Lightning Glow. Richard Ferree ran third behind Navy Strength last time out in that 1,800-meter contest. Snaith could easily saddle the trifecta here with numbers 1, 8, and 11, with preference for number 8 Magic Verse, as you've indicated. In the old days, the coupling might have been an attractive banker, but now we've got to consider them all. But Magic Verse, the clear first choice. But Lightning Glow and Future Turn, the stable companions, both very much alive. Also alive is definitely number 9, Join the Dots. I know that he finished a length or so behind Magic Verse last time out, but on his overall recent form, it's difficult to ignore his chances. He's quite a decent sort in his own right. So number 9, Join the Dots, is certainly entitled to his airtime. For Lupiki of the balance is the one that could surprise them. But I think that Snaith has a stranglehold on this race, and you and I are in the same camp. Number 8 Magic Verse, the top choice. Maybe I'm not as bullish as you are, Dees, but you're entitled to be bullish. He owes you, and he may pay you back on Saturday. But I have healthy respect for both Lightning Glow and Future Turn. And if I'm going to go with all three in the pick 6, I'm certainly then not going to leave out number 9, Join the Dots.
Okay, that is the runner that was in the same race as Magic Verse last time out. And we'll see if Snaith can deliver here. And hopefully it's the horse that we are recommending. It's number 8, Magic Verse. The 10th race closes off Jackpot 2. Jackpot 2 begins in race number 7. It's over 1,400 meters. And can we end things off on a high? Number 2, Big Unit, fluent winner last time out. There was money about, and Kabela Matsanyane, good ride. Number 3, Power and the Glory. We know how well related he is, the half-brother to Double Superlative. I'm going to ask Graham on what he thought of that comeback run. Number 5 at 8-1. Horse number 8 at 11-2. 10 is at 9-2. Yeah, the Snaith team were quite upbeat about this horse coming back last time out, Graham. You know, while they did on the side of caution that he may just need it. What did you think of that run, Graham?
Very positive run. It was only his third career start. A young horse taking on older horses, was beaten nearly 2 lengths by a Big Unit, but plenty more to offer. It's interesting. We've got 3 3-year-olds in this race that hold entries for the Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas on the 14th of December. These are number 3, Power and the Glory, number 6, French Flame, and number 8, Mapaka. And clearly, only one of them can win this race if any of them win it, but they need to run well to be even considered for acceptance in the 2 million rand Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas on the 14th of December. So it'll be interesting to see how the aspirant Guineas candidates go. Of them, probably number 3, Power and the Glory, the leading light, ahead of number 8, Mapaka. But there's some competitive older horses here. This race is tricky. It's a Class 3 handicap over 1,400 meters. Big Unit did well to get up. Last time out, win it narrowly ahead of Tudor Fay. We were talking about betting earlier. Tudor Fay ran second. Big Unit is 5-1 in the market. You can pretty much write your own ticket about number 12, Tudor Fay, although he does have the worst of the draw to overcome. Willie John, he could offer some each-way value Ds at around 8-1. He's improved of late. Obviously, his penultimate start, he went through the rail and didn't complete the course. But his last 2 effective runs have been in third spot, narrowly beaten by Big Unit last time out, finishing ahead of Power and the Glory. He's quite nicely handicapped in this race, and he's certainly showing signs of life. He's always been thought of as a decent horse. It's taken a very long time to mature. At around 8-1, you could do worse than have a speculative each way bet on number 5, Willie John. The day you completely ignore Rosh Kadesh, that's the day he's going to come to bite you. He was in the same race behind Big Unit, but there he had draw 13 out of 13, never got into the race. Now he's drawn in gate 4, so Rosh Kadesh is another one amongst the bigger priced runners that could get into the fray. The Grey King, he made his comeback on the 2nd of November. Richard Faree rides for Snaith. He's a highly regarded 4-year-old son of Vercingetorix. He showed some really decent form in the past, running 2nd to Green with Envy in the Politician Stakes, 2nd to Flagman, 2nd to the very decent form Gear, 2nd to the recent winner Diani. So on his very best form, number 10, the Grey King has certainly got to go into the calculation. So this is a trappy final leg of Jackpot 2. I'm not sure that I would like to have seen Power and the Glory go slightly further. I'm not sure that 1,400 meters would ever be his ideal distance. Does he have the class to get away with it? Absolutely. And he needs to win this to be considered for the final field of the Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas, and he needs to win it quite nicely, I would have thought. But this is competitive, D's. I'm not going to nail my colours to the mask. I think Willie John offers good each-way value, but there are many with chances, and I think the wider you go in the final leg of Jackpot 2, the better off you'll be.
Okay, that could be a result here in race number 10, and as the betting would suggest, when it's 4-1 the field, you could get a decent quartet here to close things off. And that is the 10 races that we have previewed. Now over to you, Graham, for your suggested bet, and as we've mentioned on the show, it's up on screen. It's Jackpot 2.
No, it's Jackpot 1 starting in race 5 at 14.17. Jackpot 1 starting in race 5 at 14.17. Obviously, the second leg of the carryover pick 6. We like Garrick's legal counsel and Kariaka to get us through the first leg of that pick 6. But here's the jackpot. Banker number 4, Asia Pambili in race 5. Race 6 is the World Sports Betting Greenpoint Stakes. Sees the reappearance of Green with Envy and Oriental Charm, but there are only 6. It could be a sort of a funnily run race. Pace will be a big factor, tactics will be a factor, so we're going the field. In the 7th race, the R1.25 million World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas, 1 Mon Petit Cherie, 3 Beware the Bomb, 4 Little Susie, 6 Kinda Wonderful, 10 Symphony in White, 11 Gimme's Countess, and 13 Fatal Flaw. And then, as we discussed earlier, I'm going to take my chances in the World Sports Betting Cape Summer Stayers Handicap and hope that Navy Strength can repeat what it did back in 2022 by winning this race after having won his prep race into that over 1,800 meters. So I'm looking for him to do the same, exactly the same as he did 2 years ago. But clearly, he is a speculative banker to keep the perm down to 42 Rand. If you're not going to go with him, then I would suggest the field.
Okay, Graham has given us Jackpot 1. All you need to do now is work out leg 1 and leg 6 of the pick 6. And you can possibly add his numbers to your numbers and take that pick 6, which is a carryover of R1 million. My suggestion is take a chance. Race 9, horse number 8, Magic Verse. And you have 2 bankers to possibly close things off there. Races 8 and 9. Graham, thanks for your time and a wonderful meeting at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Saturday.
Thank you, Dees. As always, go well.
Thanks to Graham Hawkins. Thanks to the Gallop TV team. To you, the valued racing fan. Have a blast. Find all the winners and catch that pick 6 on Saturday at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gasle.